morning, guys. We're here at home. It's spelled H-O-W-N. Getting a quick morning breakfast before we start our journey out to Comuna 13.
No importa lo que diga mi vida contigo, tú sabes mejor. Me cansé de pensarte todo el tiempo y por eso escribí esta canción.
Steven, where are we?
We're at San Javier right now, waiting for our group to show up to start our tour.
So we met up and now we're gonna take a bus. It's about a 10-minute ride to Comuna 13. And we just met up with our guide, introduced ourselves, and the group we have is about 10 people, so it's a pretty small group.
Okay, guys.
All right, we are now on our way up, all the way up this hill of Comuna 13. Right now we're in the barrio area, so it is more like residential. It's heavily touristy now, but this is a place that was formerly with a ton of violence. In fact, our tour guide Jason was saying that it used to be one of the most violent cities, if not the most, in all of Latin America in terms of how many murders there were. But nowadays it's changed completely because it's been 23 years or so since that happened. We're taking a look at 3 neighborhoods today. A couple of them are strictly residential, and then we'll be going to the touristy side where they've developed a bit of things, you'll see. And he was just explaining that the population of this area, it's kind of like a favela. So some of these are illegally built for various reasons, mostly because of poverty, of course. But there's about 200 something thousand people living in this specific neighborhood of all of Medellin, making it the second most populated comuna, or district, I guess, of the 19 in Medellin. We are currently in one of the homes, or I guess studios, for a graffiti artist, and we just learned a whole bunch of history of this whole area and the influence of graffiti and murals as well. It's a significant move in terms of how Comuna was portrayed. It changed a lot of what it used to be in terms of the violence, and now it's much more accessible for tourists. So we're about to head over to the tourist side to actually see the influence and change of what Comuna used to be and now what it is. Found a coffee master up here in Comuna 13. This is awesome. We're doing a coffee experience with Café Waikao and learning a lot about coffee in Spanish, which is awesome. So it was a free coffee experience, but I absolutely encourage you to tip because it's so great. And now we are on our way to the more touristy section, which is where you'll find more of the murals and the famous escalators, which actually made this place as accessible as it is now and kind of transformed the community and introduced a lot of the street murals that you'll see today. Do not fall in that hole. Hola! So making our way to the escalators, this whole area doesn't actually have roads. So, you know, you gotta have a motorbike that's running through the like little pedestrian ways, kind of like a Venice, but way more hilly, a little bit different. But it gives you perspective to see like how tiny and dense this area is and how many people live in it. All right, we've made our way out of the alleyways and we are now in the main section, and you can tell because there's literally souvenir shops and food carts and things like that. My little Mexicana loves her tajin and lime juice. Oh gosh.
You don't like it?
No, it's too sour for me. So apparently you gotta have popsicles up here. It's a thing, which makes sense. It's a hot climate, fresh fruits in this part of the region, and we have epic views of these beautiful murals. While Chantal is running away from God knows what kind of bug it is. I don't think it's a mosquito. I don't think it's a bee. I don't think it's a bee, but she's scared, so we're moving. But I think they have good taste too because of these sweet popsicles. So making it to the top is not that bad because the escalators literally go all the way up, but there's a lot to explore on the way down. So thankfully the tour drops us off here, and then we kind of make our way all the way back down to the bottom, shopping, exploring, grabbing some snacks that we didn't have in Bogota that we still need to try. But the views up here are spectacular. It is such an awesome city. We did the morning, and I'm thankful for that because I heard that late in the afternoon it gets super busy. Plus, the weekends are even worse. So if you're gonna do it, if you have the time, weekdays, morning, that's your opportunity. A lot of food, restaurants, bars. It's just pretty much a touristy place. One thing I'm bummed about though is the tour guide said that is a great place at night because there's some night views and it's pretty vibrant at night too. But I don't think we'll have the time to be here at night. We've wrapped up our tour and we're now at this really pretty bar and restaurant here. Lady makes arepas, you can hang for drinks and check out the view. More importantly, there's also a bathroom here. So our tour guide says, you know, whatever, it's up to you. You can just hang around. There's no pressure to buy or anything. Use the bathroom. It's very convenient because that was one thing we were fearing about is like, oh man, we need to make sure we use the bathrooms. So everywhere we've gone, he's planned it where there would be a bathroom we could use. So that's something important to know on these longer tours. But the entire tour, it's about 1 o'clock and we started around 9:30ish. Honestly, it was well worth it. We learned a lot about the history of this area on top of some of the symbolism behind the murals and graffiti and artwork. And now we have the opportunity to go down, wander around ourselves and shop, grab some snacks and food. Time for lunch. It's almost 2 p.m. and our tour guide did recommend this place. The restaurant is called Delicias de Martha, and he said get the menu of the day, menu del día. So that's what we're all getting. It's a very reasonable price and these views are amazing. So let's see if the food's up to par. But our tour guide's been very solid today, so I think it'll be good. For the menu del día, it starts with a sopa, and they have different sopas del día. So today it was pescado or pasta. Not sure what's in the pasta one, but we did one of both. And then the main dish is arroz, plátano, papa, y cerdo. You can get pork, chicken, beef, So I did pork or cerdo for mine. And of course, you've got a ton of beans. By the way, the tour was called AIC Tours. It was awesome, very well worth it. 45,000 per person, and we added a little tip at the end as well. And he stayed with us for like an extra 30, 40 minutes just chatting away. You can tell he's very passionate about the job.
If you want to pay by card, 6% charge to use cards, keep that in mind.
Somos tú y yo. No importa lo que diga mi vida contigo, tú sabes mejor.
Susie! Hola, Susie! Slowly making our way down. It's not too busy. It is starting to rain a bit. But we met a Frenchie named Susie, and apparently a family of Frenchies are here. Hasta luego!
Me cansé de pensarte todo el tiempo y por eso escribí esta canción. Estoy puesto pa' todo lo que quiera, no importa cuál sea la ocasión. Juntico los dos. Cuando voy contigo se va la ciudad.
Hey, we're under a fellow neighbor's home here in Comuna 13 because it is pouring all of a sudden. But quite an experience because we get to experience the sound of rain on the tin roofs. But I think it's just a cloud that's passing. So there's this crazy guy doing this. Slippery when wet.
No importa cuál sea la ocasión, juntico los dos. Cuando voy contigo se va la ansiedad, también la depresión. Eres el remedio.
If you want a good time, look for one of these buses. We're back where we started this morning for the tour. We actually didn't go this way. We went around that way. But here are some really cool looking steps.
Yo te quiero cerca, cerquita de mí, cerquita de ti. El cielo se llena de estrellas.